A very wonderful morning. Still watching the program this morning on ITV, transmitting from the hilltop of Umpape district in the nation's capital city. That's ITV broadcasting complex here. It's now time for us to talk about what Mr. Godwin N.E.K. we call the faithful machine. And he will tell you that when those machines fall off the sky, it's always with human error, that the machines will give you sufficient warning that it's not fit to be in the sky, but somehow human error, human mistakes when it comes to operation leads to that machine falling off the sky. My name is Iharuata. It's now time for us to talk aviation. The man discussing this with us, can we have his detail on the screen here, Mr. Godwin N.E.K., one who loved, that is him on the screen there, who loved aviation with a passion, and somehow you just get to love something when you go through life, and that is his contact there, that is his email address, telephone contact, email address, the website, the YouTube channel, as well as the Twitter handle. You can reach him and follow him through and get all. You can even watch this program when we are done here. He uploads everything to make sure those of you who cannot watch because you are in traffic, you are also updated and you follow through and you are enriched in your knowledge of the aviation sector. Welcome to the program, Mr. Ikesa.
Hi, morning, Ata. How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine, and I told you that yesterday I saw that news that came out from the NCAA, the revocation of a pilot license because he did not update his medical certificate. Certificate had expired. They had warned him and warned him and warned him. I think since December last year, they kept warning him, we need a fresh one. He wasn't doing it, but yesterday they came up with that press statement in the afternoon that the pilot license had been withdrawn. A very popular pilot, the name was not given. A very professional pilot, the name was not given. But because of his medical certificate that is not, what do you call it now, how do we put it? That is an expired one he's using since December.
Outdated.
Thank you very much.
That's correct. Outdated. Yeah.
But is that not too harsh?
No. NCAA waited for too long.
Why?
Yeah, it was absolutely irresponsible of that so-called professional best pilot to have waited to be reminded about human lives.
He made several flights, too many flights, because maybe he's so good, he couldn't sit down for the medical test.
No. It doesn't take a whole light year to get your medical test done and updated. It doesn't take that long. It was sheer irresponsibility.
You're like the NCAA guy.
Yeah, I mean, I am not one of them, but as a freak of aviation and as somebody has dug so deep into this sector, I can tell you that what he did was extremely unacceptable, intolerable. There's no way he can explain his action. As a matter of fact, if I were the NCAA boss, I would ban him for life. That's what I would do, because
they asked him to return his license of operation back to NCAA this morning.
Oh, yes, he needs to do that. I mean, if they ban him for a short while and get him back to his job, he would be lucky. If I were the NCAA boss, he would be banned for life. To send a strong signal to others that this is absolute nonsense and is totally unacceptable.
He's the lead pilot in all the flights. He's flying the lead pilot.
That's correct, but he lacked character in that conduct. It was an indication that something might just happen if that step NCAA took had not been taken. It might be that there's something he's hiding. It might be that there's a health situation that he's hiding. Remember the guy in Germany?
The one that actually nosedived the plane, lock up the senior pilot in toilet.
People had their suspicion that something was wrong. And his doctor, because of the law operating in Germany, his doctor was restrained from telling the airline that that guy had mental issues. And he was refusing to tell his employers, and the doctor himself had his hand tied by the law of Germany, and so he couldn't tell his employers. And what happened? He ended up in madness.
Slaughtering everybody.
Slaughtered everybody. Deliberately headed his airplane into the Alps and crashed the plane and slaughtered hundreds of people. I mean, aviation is about discipline. That's what it is. There is no room for irresponsibility. You must do what is right all the time, not sometimes, all the time. That is the meaning of, practice of aviation. He will be lucky to get that license back someday in the future. If I keep repeating to you, if I were in the shoes of the NCAA boss, he will never get it for the rest of his life.
Okay,
it's a strong signal to the rest of the pilots. You can't afford to mess around with this job. You can't afford to fool around with this job.
Take a day off the flight, run your medical check, and get the certificate updated. Now, what are we looking at this morning? Our time is out.
We are dealing with part 2 of what we had last week: previous situation analysis, roadmap. Remember, you're scoring 2 over 14.
I never scored. We brought out what you hear. We analyzed them point by point.
That's right.
And arrived at the fact that the Hadi Sirika-led aviation ministry did not attain all what he outlined that he wants to achieve. He gave us a roadmap, I think about 14-point agenda, of which almost all we are not actualized.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Now, here are the achievements. Part 2 will be dealing with 8 clips of the achievements he rolled out on that fateful day of the 8th of November 2018 during the 5th Aviation Stakeholders Forum at NAF Center. I was in attendance, and I took graphic details of everything he read out. So let's get on with clip 1 very quickly.
Clip 1 quickly.
Clip 1, first time is on our friend today.
Okay, that's it.
Here we go. The ministry has recorded significant achievements in virtually all aspects of the sector in the past 3 years as follows, in accordance with Honorable Minister Hadi Sirika.
But Mr. Godike, we must state that this is Hadi Sirika's own self-assessment.
That's correct.
He is the one scoring himself.
That's correct.
He is the one telling himself, I have passed very well, not a different teacher.
No, that's correct. That's correct.
Let's go ahead.
That's correct. That's why I continue to highlight the fact that this is a document that he delivered, and I got a copy, and of course I was in attendance, and I listened to him. We asked questions and all, and he gave answers and all sorts. But let's take a look at what he said, and then you journalists can now do the legwork on ground and confirm some of the things, okay? Now, reintroduction of zero import duties on aircraft engine and introduction of same for spare parts, removal of value-added tax, VAT, from all share transportation, including commercial flights. The ministry is liaising with relevant MDAs. You know what I mean by the MDAs, the ministry, departments, and agencies of government, to ensure the smooth implementation of the presidential order. Intervene to rescue Arik Aero contractors and aero contractors from total collapse. That's correct. Both are currently in operation but under receivership. Government recently commenced the payment of severance / retirement benefits to former staff of the defunct Nigeria Airways. That's correct. I mean, that made a lot of hype. Let's run quickly to clip 2 very well.
Clip 2 quickly. Clip 2 still within the same achievements
in the aviation sector in accordance to
okay, that's clip 2 there.
Yeah, self-assessment made by Honorable Minister Hadi Sirika. Ensured safe and competitive aviation industry, resulting in the growth of the industry. The sector recorded an average growth of 33% on domestic operations and 13.5% on international operations between January 2017 to June 2018. Provided the enabling environment for domestic airlines in the country to attain certification of IATA Operational Safety Audit, fondly known as IOSA. Currently, 5 Nigerian domestic airlines have certifications. All right, let's move to clip 3 very quickly. We're still dealing with achievements in the aviation sector. Here we go. Certification of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos in April 2017, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja in November 2017. The first ever airport certification in Nigeria, quite impressive. The certification of Kano and Port Harcourt airports are in advanced stages. This was way back as 18th of November 2018. It's my imagination that that should be coming to its end, or perhaps it's out and we have not been informed. Now, promulgated a new Nigerian civil aviation regulation which took effect in July 2016. Clip 4, please, quickly.
Clip 4.
Nigeria achieved an effective implementation level of 67.36% during the ICAO, that's the International Civil Aviation Organization Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program.
Who gave that mark? Is it ICAO or is it ICAO that gave us that score?
ICAO.
Okay.
It had to be ICAO because they are the ones that carry out those audits. All right. And it mentioned there clearly that level of 67.36% during the ICAO Universal Safety Audit Program carried out in March 2016. So it must be ICAO, okay? Which is above global average of 63.54. Global average is 63.54, and we're being informed here that Nigeria scored 67, which is higher than the global average. Good news. Now, Nigeria also recorded 96.45% in ICAO Universal Security Audit. In the areas of state safety programs, Nigeria has attained level 3.
Security audit as in what? Because if it's giving us this, and we see where our pilgrims are traveling for Saudi Arabia, and they got cocaine stuck into their bags. That's right. And the next thing they got there.
It's quite ironic.
The question you'll be asking is how secure is it? Mr. Godi, in any case, traveling to Germany, he just bought a flight, checked in his bag, somebody opened the bag, got drug stuff in, and Mr. Godi, in any case, is being put on the slaughter table in the next country. The question is how secure is the airport?
God forbid it. It's sad, very heart-rending. And believe you me, I still can't get over the fact that that young lady almost lost her life in Saudi Arabia. I still can't get over it. Yeah, even as I speak with you right now, I am having goose pimples all over my body.
Imagine seeing her on the path to death.
That's correct, for a crime that she never committed. This is totally unacceptable. We must do everything to ensure that a thing like this never, ever, ever again happens in this country. It must never happen again. Now, it makes it quite ironic that if we scored 96.45%, that such a thing would have happened at Kano Airport. But here we go. That's the news we have on our hands. Now, we move on, Atta. In the areas of state safety programs, Nigeria has attained level 3 out of 4 levels, thereby moving Nigeria from red to green on ICAO dashboard. In line with ICAO and WMO standards, in July 2017, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency acquired ISO 9001-215 certificate. You know what that means. You are one of those management certifications showing that you have a set system that is usually from an agency in Switzerland that offers it worldwide. Once you are certificated, it shows that you have a system that is meant to produce results, a system that is meant to save money, a system that is meant to be efficient, and so, excuse me, if you carry out another one in another year, they find out that you are really going by the rules, and if you are derailing, they put you back on track. That is what the ISO 9001 2015 certification is all about. Okay, having explained that, let's move on. Which qualifies it to offer, we are now talking about the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, having acquired that certification, and then that qualifies it to offer aeronautical meteorological services. The agency became the first in Africa to be so certified in that category. Good news, good news. Let's move to clip 5 very quickly. Right, here we go. Completion of Kano Tower Automated Air Traffic Management and Meteorological Systems. Installation of Instrument Landing System ILS Category 2, Doppler VORs, you know those, I had one of my followers asking me, God, what is Doppler? Like, who watched the first, and I tried to explain in the Morse, but Doppler is just bouncing back of sound, when you are relating it to a standing object, and something that has sound is coming to you. The bounce back gives you a kind of, I'll give you an example. When a siren, no, not echo. If you're standing on the road, and a big VIP coming with siren is coming towards you, what you hear is, as he's coming closer to you, the sound is increasing, and as he's leaving you, you hear,
fading away.
Until it fades away. Now, what's happening is that sound that's coming towards you is hitting you and going back, and the frequency is increasing as it's coming. That's why you especially when you are blowing your horn, you find out that when a car is coming in front of you and is blowing your horn, pa, what you hear is pa.
Even when the car is coming on very high speed, and you're just standing by the road, you hear the sound come, and it gets to a point, it tends to change a little,
and then fades away.
Particularly with power bikes.
That is Doppler. Okay. My dear viewers, you've gotten the real meaning of the Doppler. So when you talk about the Doppler viewers, very high frequency communication equipment that we have at the airport, is simply saying that equipment works by Doppler effect. That's all it's all about. Don't bother your heads with other technicalities. This is the easiest way I can explain it to the ordinary person out there. Now, let's move on. Installation of instrument landing systems, ILS Category 2, Doppler VORs, distance measuring equipment, DMEs, at 4 airports: Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, Kaduna completed. Why Mina, Jos, Yola, Maiduguri, Benin, Akure are ongoing. This was as way back as the November 8th that we talked about. It's my imagination that this should have been completed by now if they were actually going on. Okay, it's up to you journalists to find out and confirm that this is all been going on. Now, installation of Category 3, I'm quite excited about this. Instrument landing system in Lagos and Abuja to improve operations during inclement weather. Anytime you hear again that there's Harmattan haze and therefore airplanes are not taking off and landing either in Lagos or Abuja, then know that this point is a lie. This point I just read for you, that installation of Category 3 instrument landing system.
Do we have
if that's what Honorable Mr. Hadisirika told us on.
But have you seen any? Have you observed?
No, you're not supposed to see this.
No, because I observed that when there is Harmattan haze, most times we don't fly.
Well, if that's why I said to you, as I'm talking to a journalist who should be investigative in nature. If you
when you have a very foggy weather, sometimes you don't fly.
No, with Category 3, that should not stop you. The only thing that can stop you, flying, even though you have a Category 3 ILS system, is if you have heavy storm, shear wind, those kind of strong extreme wind, not in vision.
Okay.
Now, because the issue of Harmattan haze is about vision. Okay. That is the issue of Harmattan haze, and if for any reason anyone tells you that, or any airline tells you in Abuja and Lagos that they can't fly because there's Harmattan haze and the visibility is poor, then you can quote me categorically. It means that this installation of Category 3 is not true. If it is true, there is no issue with visibility anymore, because this Category 3 brings you to the threshold of the runway to the 0 point. It's not one of those categories that hang you up in the air some meters away from the runway, and then the pilot now uses his skill and visual situation to try to touch down nicely. No, category 3, especially the 3C, brings you dead to the 0 point on touchdown on the threshold of the runway. That's how awesome this ILS system is. So I don't want to be hearing airlines saying that they can't take off or land either in Lagos or Abuja, since we've been informed that these systems have been installed. Hamilton Hayes.
But are they used to the system? Are they used to it? That's the question.
Well,
are they used to it?
Thank you for.
Because if you're not used to the landing
system. It's not about using. Sorry, it's not about being used to. It's about a compliant aircraft. Yes, this may save the Honorable Minister some stress right now. If the plane is not compliant, then you can't fly the ILS. Okay, so you need to also find out if we have this on ground, are the airliners upgrading their onboard facilities to fly category 3? Because if the plane is not compliant, that plane cannot fly it even though it's on the ground. So if some airlines say they can't fly because there's Hamilton Hayes, remind them that we have category 3.
I won't remind them. I will tell them that the minister said, I will quote him, because they will ask you, have you seen it?
Okay.
Can you show it to me? Just quote it and leave it at Hadi Sirika.
And then ask them, are your airplanes compliant? Because if you have category 2 compliant airplanes, they can't fly category 3 on ground.
No, they can fly manually, but they cannot. They can fly conventionally, but they can't fly with those facilities.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, quickly, let's go to clip 6 for last.
No,
the last clip.
No, it's 2 more clips and we're done.
2 more clips quickly. My time is almost up.
All right. Clip 6. Thank you. Installation of very high frequency VHF radios for aerodrome and approach air-ground communication in 18 airports nationwide. Maiduguri, Enugu, Jos, Calabar, Yola, Ilorin, Sokoto, Lagos, Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Zaria, Katsina, Owerri, Yola, Calabar, Kaduna. These are the places they have this very high frequency radio for aerodrome, for approach air-ground communication. Very important because that ensures safe landing. Installation of high-power, very high-frequency VHF standalone radios in Lagos and Kano area control centers as backup to air-ground upper airways voice communication. Deployment of controller pilot data link communication, fondly known as CBDLC, in Lagos and Kano to enhance communication in the oceanic region and the remote areas of the north. Clip 7 very quickly.
Clip 7 for last quickly.
Clip 7.
So that we can get this done for today.
That's correct.
That's clip 7 now.
Yeah, commencement of aeronautical information management automation project, which comprises a network of 26 VSAT
What's VSAT? What's VSAT? We're in a hurry, but what is VSAT? Even if we're in a hurry, we need to know what we're talking about here. What's VSAT very quickly?
They usually call them, is it very, very small, very small, my memory is failing me now, but it has to do with the small antennas that you have for reception of electronic information. V stands for very, and then small. I'm trying to remember the A, but that's what it's all about. It's an antenna. So airports as well as search and rescue with coordination domiciled in Lagos. It will enable Nigeria to comply with the mandatory transition from the Aeronautical Information Service, AIS, to Aeronautical Information Management, AIM. Developed and published performance-based navigation procedures for 18 airports. Introduced standard instrument departures and standard arrival routes at Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, and as well as improvement on the procedures. Finally, clip 8. Let's quickly run to clip 8 and get out of this studio right quickly. Safety of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, for conformity with the requirements of certification of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. We've seen that before, for conformity with the requirements of ISO 9001 2015 certification and provision of meteorological services to the aviation industry and other user sectors. The only meteorological agency in Africa to achieve the 215 version. You know, so here we go. National and international collaborative partnership on improved weather and climate services delivery. NIMET provides daily weather forecast to Liberia and Sierra Leone. Quite impressive. NIMET is currently training meteorological personnel of the Republic of Gambia in Banjul. NIMET has entered into strategic partnerships with Met agencies of Korea, Finland, and India with a view to developing our capacity to design and fabricate automatic weather equipment and meteorological satellite system. And that's what we have for part 2. We're going to finish his achievements in part 3 next week. But at the moment, this is what we can afford to take because of time.
I thank you. I'll let you go now, but let's hope that next week we're going to fire on, because there's so many questions, common interrogation we have to be given. When you have an aviation minister scoring himself so high, you know, you can't score yourself so high. You have to allow someone look at you, because William Shakespeare was clear that the eye cannot see itself unless with the aid of a mirror that will tell you who you are. And we are the mirror here, mirroring Hadi Sirika's tenure. But I will allow you to go now. Go take your rest. Monday next week we won't be here, and that time I would have gone through what you have seen now. Then we'll start to peruse and look at it if critically what Hadi Sirika scored himself, where the issues on the ground. Thank you very much.
Very well. It's up to you journalists, not just speaking and talking. Do the practical thing. Go out there, ask questions, go to the airport, ask the officials at the airport. We are aware that this and that and that and that. Can somebody tell us and show us where these equipment are all installed? Yeah, some of them are so small that you will pass them by without noticing them. But the technical people at the airport, as journalists, I have right to know, can show some of these things to you and explain to you whether they are working or not. This is the job of you journalists, and you must do it well. Okay, we'll do it well. Thank you, Mr. Godwin N. Ike. That's how far we can go on the interview segment. When we come back, the 9th National Assembly would be something bubbling. For now, all eyes are on those seeking to head the both chambers of the parliament here. The Baja Bia Millers of this world, the Ahmed Lawal of this world, the Undomes of this world, and several others are crisscrossing Nigeria, hoping to actually become Senate President or Speaker. After the break, we will be analyzing these.